Okay, so here we are live once again. I got a new phone, so if things look a little different, that's why they look a little different. I'm planning on reorganizing some of this stuff back here. Should put a little more stuff here. I got this blank space right there. I gotta put something right there. You know what I mean? And you're if you remember some of my older episodes at the last place I lived, you probably got some ideas to what I might be putting up there. But we're just gonna let that percolate for now. So I have another episode in my special series in observation of Black History Month. A lot of people might observe Black History Month by looking at historical, important figures like Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, Malcolm X. Me, I'm opening action figures, but to the carpenter who only has a hammer, every problem is a nail, right? So that's what I do. I open action figures. Hello to Judy Yates. Welcome to the show. Glad to see you. All right. So what we got today to open, this actually is Black history in a lot of various ways, and we can see that this is a vintage Kenner Total Justice action figure straight from the 1990s, fractal tech gear and all. And this is none other than Black Lightning. This is the first ever action figure ever made of Black Lightning. And I believe that this is his third costume, which shows how late in the game it was. Black Lightning was not the first DC black superhero, but he was the first black DC superhero to have his own comic book series and premiere in his own comic book series. John Stewart, Green Lantern, would have been the first black superhero from DC Comics. And of course, Marvel had beaten DC to the punch by several years with the Black Panther, and beaten them to the punch by having the first black superhero to have his own comic book in Luke Cage, Hero for Hire, later known as Power Man, sometimes simply known as Luke Cage, but one of my favorite Marvel superheroes. I love Luke Cage. So yeah, DC got to it kind of late, but they did get to it. And Tony Isabella was the guy who created Black Lightning, along with the artist Trevor Von Eden, a great team that produced some great comics. Originally, some editor at DC Comics whose name escapes me, and I probably shouldn't say it anyway because I don't want to embarrass the guy this late in the game. He had come up with an idea for a black superhero that would have been called the Black Bomber, and the thing that would have been awful about that is that the Black Bomber wasn't even really a black guy. He was a racist white man who, when he gained his superpowers, he would transform into a black man with superpowers, but he was still racist. And I don't know why somebody thought this was a good idea, but it was not. And Tony Isabella, when they pitched the idea to him, they wanted him to write it. He's like, guys, this is a terrible idea. You can't do this. You will get in so much trouble. And let me just create a brand new character from the ground up. And he created Black Lightning. And like I said, Trevor Von Eden was the artist on that. Very talented artist. I've enjoyed his work not only on Black Lightning, but on characters like Batman and Green Arrow. I would consider Trevor Von Eden to be a top 3 Green Arrow artist. And considering how the other two are Mike Grell and Neil freaking Adams, that should show you the kind of high esteem I hold Trevor Von Eden in as far as that goes. But I became a fan of Black Lightning when I was a small child and was reading World's Finest Comics, one of my favorite comic books to read at the time. You had a Superman Batman team up and a whole lot of other superheroes in there, like Green Arrow, Black Canary, Shazam. Those were like the mainstays of it. And occasionally you would have comics starring, say, Wonder Woman or the Creeper or Aquaman or Red Tornado or what have you. But around that time, the DC implosion happened and they lost a lot of titles, and one of them was Black Lightning. So Black Lightning got folded into World's Finest Comics, and that was where I first became familiar with him, and would later become further familiar with him as a member of Batman's own superhero team, the Outsiders. So when I first saw Batman and the Outsiders, I immediately recognized Batman, obviously, and Metamorpho. I was familiar with him, and Black Lightning. And then there was a bunch of new characters I didn't know, but I would soon get to know them. I enjoyed that series quite a bit. Anyway, this was a costume that was used in a 1990s reboot that was done by Tony Isabella himself, and I don't hate this costume, but I don't like it as well as the original. I don't feel like it's got that same sort of charm to it. And yeah, I know a lot of people might look at it as being a little 70s, a little dated, but honestly, I kind of feel like it's come all the way back around to being kind of retro and timeless. And even if you didn't like that one, I also really like the costume that Black Lightning wore in the Black Lightning Year One miniseries from a while back, where they just kind of put a little bit of a modern polish onto it. Like it didn't really have the kind of disco shirt with the wide collar. It was more like a bomber jacket, and he didn't have the afro. He had more like dreads, and it looked cool. I liked it. And then of course he's had a few other costumes since then, but this one I think is pretty good. I think it kind of captures the flavor of that 1970s suit. The only thing that I probably would have rather seen on this, why are you doing this? No, I'm not doing this right now. Black screen after like 6 minutes. Yeah, I'm still alive. My phone did something stupid because I just got a new phone and it tried to restart. So that's what caused all this problem. So anyway, I don't. Was there still sound or anything? Yeah, yeah. That was the phone being stupid. So whatever. Anyway, so we got him out of the package. Did anybody hear when I read the back of the package? You know, like I don't know. We'll go ahead and read it again. Stupid phone. Why did you do that, phone? Uh, acting as both everyday school teacher, acting as both everyday school teacher Jefferson Pierce and superhero Black Lightning. This amazing crime fighter battles the evil organization known as the 100, as well as numerous street gangs. Overcoming his upbringing in Metropolis's notoriously dangerous streets, Black Lightning uses incredible lightning generated by his body to battle his foes. As the stakes climb higher, he channels his energy into enhanced action reaction fractal tech gear electro bolt strike cannon. That's a lot of words, which intensifies his powers by megavolts. Okay, so let's have a look at his articulation. So Black Lightning is an old school action figure, which means he does not have a whole lot of fancy articulation, but he's got basically just enough. So the head rotates from side to side, but doesn't go all the way around because it runs into the. No, I don't know if it's connected to that TV show or not. I don't think so. But it runs into his collar, so can't really go all the way around. He has these epaulets on his jacket, and they run onto his arms, so they're going to get cut off unless you have him posed exactly like this. That's how he's neutrally posed. So the arms rotate all the way around at the shoulders. Legs can kick up about that far and kick back about that far. Way further back than they can kick forward, apparently. 90s articulation is weird because they always had that sort of the pre-posed look to them. So I'll go ahead and go over the armor again, since I don't know if you guys got to see the armor, but clamps over his shoulders like so. And then there's two pieces that go on each leg. And like I said, I never really used any of this armor stuff when I was collecting these figures. I was already an adult collector by this time, and I took my comics way more seriously than this goofy fractal tech gear stuff. I was not into it. Now, I'm suppose some kids who grew up in the 90s and these were their superhero figures, you know, they might have a different opinion of it than me, but I was a little too old for such silliness by then. And then that goes into this hand. And this is a hand where like the thumb and the forefingers are kind of stuck together like that. So you do have to insert that all the way in, but he does seem to hold on to it for pretty well. And when you press the button, these little lightning bolts on there, they kind of depress. So that's how that looks. And then that went all the way over there. There we go. So yeah, Black Lightning was a character I was always a fan of. I enjoyed him in those. They still put that silly shit on adult action figures. That's sometimes. So yeah, like with the new phone, I feel like I'm off a little bit. I feel like I'm just looking off to the side when I should be looking more that way. I don't know. But like I said, this is a new phone, so it was trying to restart earlier. It decided to interrupt the live stream I was doing to, hey, can we restart the phone now? No, I just bought you. I don't want to restart you all over again, like already. So yeah, I usually just take all this crap off of them, and I'd lose it. That's why I don't have any of this stuff that goes to any of my older Total Justice figures. It all got lost over the years. Most of the figures I still have, but some of them I think went missing when I moved. Anyway, he's a really cool looking figure. I really like the sculpt of it. He's got like a lot of good detail to him. He's got that ridiculously crazy musculature that the Total Justice figures had, but since he's wearing like a more loose fitting costume with like a leather jacket, It's not quite as pronounced as those, but you could still see abs through his leather jacket, which is funny. The one thing I would have done differently if I were the person designing this costume is, rather than this kind of rusty, burgundy color over most of the torso, I probably would have gone with like a lighter blue. I think that would have looked a lot cooler. And I probably still would have had him with the mask. I miss him having a mask. But he'd long since given up having a mask by this point anyway. I think like the first new costume they designed for him, like in the late 80s or early 90s, I think that one didn't have a mask. But I like him having a mask. So anyway, sorry about that 6 minutes and nothing, everyone. That was because my phone went goofy. But hopefully we've got that problem licked, and that won't be a problem for much longer. Anyway, as far as doing Black History Month characters, I kind of feel like we've been over Static, who's a black superhero with lightning powers. And no, they want to restart because it's a new phone and it wants to install some stuff. And I'm like, you can wait like 10, 15 minutes for me to finish my live stream. I don't know why you're being like that right now. So we did Static, who's a black superhero with lightning powers. And we did Lightning Lad, who's a black superhero with lightning powers. And now we did Black Lightning, who's a black superhero with lightning powers. So you see how that that some people look at that as being a cliche nowadays, because so many black characters seem to have lightning powers that it's become kind of almost comical how many there are. I think it was Irredeemable, that Mark Waid series about an evil Superman. Back before that became a cliche, he was kind of poking fun at that cliche, and that was where everybody was like, "Hey, yeah, that does seem to happen a lot, doesn't it?" Black History Month. Let's go over the DC version of Wakanda. No, that might not be the best idea. Well, I did mention Tyrock a little bit when I was talking about Lightning Lad, so he was kind of like from the black version of Wakanda. So speaking of the Marvel version of Wakanda, next episode I will be doing. I will be starting with my unboxing of the Black Panther Wakanda Forever figures, which are figures that have been out for a few years by now, and I found them at Ollie's, good stuff, cheap, and I bought the whole wave of them because not only because of there were some cool figures in the wave that I actually really wanted to have. Not only because there was a figure of a guy in a suit, which I figured would be good for customizing purposes, but the Build-A-Figure is Atuma. So I thought it would be really cool to put together the Build-A-Figure of Atuma. So we will be starting next week on that, and I'm not sure what figure I'm going to open first. It's going to be whoever comes with a torso, though. So, that wave does have a comic book style Black Panther figure in there. So I'm really looking forward to opening that. And that'll be when I get into some more of the real nitty gritty of the black history of comic books. And the first Lone Dragon, no, let's not say that. That's wrong. Shame on you. don't say things like that. You are going to get in trouble. And I will not be there to defend you. I will not be there to defend you. You're not affiliated with me. That is wrong. It's wrong. And the worst part is, I actually do have a Gorilla Grodd figure that I could be opening, and I'm going to have to wait till March to do that now, aren't I? Thanks. Not like in Legion of Superheroes, all the black people had moved to like an island. This is in the 30th century. All the black people had moved to like an island, and it was like this kind of Shambhala type island, Shangri-La, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing, where like it only appeared once every like century or something like that. And that was their explanation as to why there'd never been any black people in a Legion of Superheroes comic. Might be the same. Might be the same editor that came up with the Black Bomber, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that was how they did that. But yeah, we'll talk more about Wakanda when we get into Black Panther. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss that episode, so I'm on the other side now. Okay, what am I? Make sure you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Black Lightning, both this figure and the character in general. Now, since this long overdue Black Lightning action figure that came out in like 1997, I think. Copyright date on there. 1997. Damn, I'm good. But yeah, there have been a lot of Black Lightning action figures made since then, and in fact, at least one where he was in his classic vintage costume, which is a DC Direct figure that I have, and it's one of my favorite figures since he is a character that I really like. So, but what are some of your favorite Black Lightning action figures? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to know what are some that you really liked. So anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope we enjoyed it. We will talk to you next time. Bye.